Welcome to the Property Elite podcast. I'll be your host, Jen Lehman, chartered surveyor and co-founder of Property Elite. Stay tuned each week for more on industry hot topics, market updates and new RICS guidance. In this week's podcast, I take a look at the RICS Professional Standard Discounted Cash Flow Valuations First Edition. RICS define a DCF as a valuation model that seeks to determine the value of real estate investment property by examining its future net income or projected cash flow from the investment and then discounting that cash flow to arrive at an estimated current value of the investment. Head to the RICS website to download a full copy of the professional standard. RICS also provide a glossary of other helpful terms relating to DCFs on pages 3 to 6 of the standard. The professional standard relates to the use of the explicit DCF method under the income approach in VPS 5 of the Red Book Global to value investment property. Investment property includes all income-generating asset types, including commercial and residential, and both occupied and vacant property. Investment property can be valued using both implicit and explicit forms of the investment method of valuation. Traditional implicit valuations use comparable evidence to inform rental value at current levels and a market yield, where risks and rewards such as rental growth are built implicitly into the choice of all risk yield, arriving at capital value. The use of an implicit calculation would be appropriate where there is strong, consistent market evidence and the valuation scenario is relatively simple. Explicit DCF valuations, by contrast, use a cash flow and explicit assumptions around a variety of inputs, such as rental growth, to arrive at capital value. Although more complex, DCFs can be used to more accurately model a wider variety of scenarios and assumptions, including unique assets or where comparable evidence is inconsistent or limited. Essentially, a DCF converts a series of future cash flows to a single current value, i.e. they are discounted back to the valuation date. Valuers could also use both methods to value an asset, with the outcomes compared and cross-checked. Two methods can therefore be used to benchmark each other. If adopted correctly with valid, reliable assumptions and inputs, then the two outputs should be similar, assuming the basis of value is also the same. The professional standard also discusses the differences between VPS 4 market value and investment value. An explicit DCF can be used to derive both of these valuation bases, with investment value being the value to the specific investor or owner, rather than market value, which is to the market as a whole. The distinction is very helpfully defined, with market value being what you need to pay and investment value being what you should pay or what it is worth. If assessing market value, however, using a DCF, then all of the inputs should be market-based and not specific to one investor or stakeholder, as this would then instead relate to the assessment of investment value. I recommend reading sections 4 and 5 of the professional standard to find out more about how to use DCFs to assess both bases of value. This includes assessment of various inputs such as rental value, holding period and discount rate. Appendix A provides example calculations, which will be really helpful to valuers when applying implicit and explicit investment valuations. Appendix D provides guidance on risk analysis techniques such as sensitivity analysis, scenarios and simulation, whilst Appendix C deals with depreciation and obsolescence. So what does a DCF look like? A simple DCF calculation is shown on our website blog, so I'd recommend that you head there now. The key inputs you'd need to establish in this scenario are the current market rent, expected rental growth, so percent per annum, rent review period, holding period, discount rate, and all risk yield for the last line of the cash flow into perpetuity. So finally, do you have to use DCFs going forward? The answer is no. You need to use your professional judgment to decide on which valuation approach and method is appropriate. RICS are encouraging valuers to be explicit and transparent in their valuation methodology as per the requirements of VPS 5. Thanks for listening to the Property Elite podcast this week. Head to our website to check out our full blog, free and paid support resources and services, free consultation for every single RICS APC and ASOC RICS candidate, and also ask us any questions you have via the website chat blog. See you next week.